Thank you for joining us today. We are talking about Skilled Up Life. Skilled Up Life is a two-sided marketplace. On one side, we want to help early stage tech companies who are cash starved find volunteer talent so that they can actually build the company and and create opportunities for others as they grow up. On the other side, we are helping anyone over 18 years old to gain the experience and skills needed to get their dream job or go freelance. So hopefully more people will join. Right, so with me today is Godwin and Chidinma. Godwin, would you mind introducing yourself, please?
Hi everyone, it's a pleasure to be here today. My name is Godwin, head of the Africa team at SkilledUp Life, but also head of the marketing team, and partly also user acquisition. It's a pleasure to be here. Hi Faith, hi Yusuf, Mercy, Anissa. Happy to have you guys here.
Thank you. Chidinma, would you mind introducing yourself and also tell your story as well, please?
Okay, thank you, Manoj. Hi, everyone. My name is Chidinma, currently the head of support SkilledUp Life. I joined SkilledUp Life as a volunteer, and I must say that coming across SkilledUp Life was a dream come true because it happened at a time I was actually, in need of volunteer opportunity because I just concluded a training on ALX and we were encouraged to take up internships, volunteer opportunities, to help improve our skills and gain experience. So before joining SkilledUp Life, I've tried a couple of companies that claimed to provide such services, and I found out that they were not really true to their word because they had this I don't know, a supposed company, but they were doing nothing, and some people demanded for payment. Can you imagine gaining experience and paying the company to gain the experience? So when I saw SkilledUp Life, I was really impressed, and I signed up with SkilledUp Life. So the rest, they say, is history. So I did join SkilledUp Life, with the intention of becoming an employee. I never knew that, the opportunity will come up, that one day I would end up working with them. But joining SkilledUp Life was, like a bad decision I made last year. Because not only did I get the opportunity of getting experience and increasing my network, I also had the opportunity of, getting employment. So, like Manoj has said earlier on, the idea behind SkilledUp Life is, to help as many tech startups as possible to build their companies. And when these companies are built, it increases, chances of getting more people employed. So we know that unemployment is a serious issue globally. Nigeria, where I come from, people are even getting laid off. So having a company like SkilledUp Life to me is a blessing because once we can help many tech startups, get started, by helping them to build their companies, they open up opportunities for job seekers like you and I, those that are seeking for opportunities to get, employment. So that is what SkilledUp Life is about. And if you are there, you are also seeking to get you're seeking for a job, and no job is forthcoming. While waiting for that dream job, it will benefit you, to sign up with SkilledUp Life, because with SkilledUp Life you get, that real work experience. But what we are doing is a real thing. It's a real thing. It's not a dummy project. SkilledUp Life is a real company that is, providing real value to people globally. And the companies that have subscribed with us are also real companies, that are building projects, that will benefit humanity. So by joining Skilled Up Life, you'll be there, providing real services that will help to make these companies a reality, that will help to build these companies and also make them more productive and also put them in position to employ more people. Thank you.
Thank you, Chidinma. So today's discussion is very much about building tech companies using volunteer talent. Okay, we got Mithun here. So Mithun, do you want to introduce yourself? Mithun now works for one of our customers, but he was part of SkilledUp Life for about 3 years. Please go ahead, Mithun.
Hi, Manoj. I noticed I'm still a host.
Oh, right.
So, so I used to work at SkilledUp Life very recently, and this is, I think, my first week. Not being part of these events, and this is the first time I'm joining SkilledUp Life event for this week. But I used to be part of SkilledUp Life team and be part of the talent acquisition team. And we have been acquiring users from all around the world. And now I'm part of Wavebox, a customer of SkilledUp Life. So we are working on something different, something exciting.
Thank you, Mithun. Why don't you introduce Wavebox, please?
I'm sorry, Manoj, I didn't catch you.
Please introduce Wavebox. Tell the audience and what it is, please.
Okay. So Wavebox is a browser that's built for business, and it has all kinds of productivity tools built in. It allows you to collaborate with your team members, and we are working on some exciting new features. And that's sort of a secret, but we're sort of still working on it. We haven't really made any announcements yet, but it's still in the works. So it allows you to stay productive. It allows you to have, if you're not good with tab management on a browser, especially if you run a business and if you want to have team members added in, and if you want to do all your work on your browser, it makes it seamless. It's also very, very fast. It's a lot faster than Edge or Chrome or Firefox. It's basically a browser for work and business, and it allows you to add teams and collaborate with all your team members at work.
Thank you, Mithun. So I'm a user of I'm a new user of Wavebox. I have quite a complex life. I run 3 ventures and obviously have a personal life as well. And Wavebox is helping me to organize various software tools I use. Just to give you an example, I have access to more than 10 Google Workspace accounts, and I can't actually manage them through a typical browser because the browser wouldn't let me access more than 10 accounts at any given time. Now, it might sound weird to you why I need 10, but Wavebox is helping me to manage that. So, Mithun, you are the 4th employee at Wavebox, is that correct?
No, I think the others are all co-owners. Co-founders.
No. Okay. All right. So the fourth person at Wavebox, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously you've been there for about a week. So the interesting question for us is, from SkilledUp Life point of view, is how you and the team plans to grow the team using our volunteers from SkilledUp Life. Now, the Wavebox, the company that Mithun works for now, I know them quite well. So this is a very good early stage tech company with 3 people to focus very much on the product, and the third person was basically responsible for the rest. So Mithun joining will significantly add their capability to grow. But I'm interested in hearing, I know that the first post on SkilledUp Life, first opportunity posted was for looking for technical writers. Then our team, we had a very experienced HR volunteer, Efua, who has, she completed 2 terms with us, volunteer terms, and she's now part of your team. Could you mind sharing some information, if you don't mind, if unless, assuming it's not a secret, how do you sort of plan to build the team over the next 3 to 6 months? You and
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Manoj. So yeah, I mean, you're right. So I used to work at SkilledUp Life as in talent acquisition, and we had work with so many people from all over the world. So at Wavebox, what I'm in charge of is just the product life cycle and marketing. So I think what we want to do is we want to run a huge marketing campaign, and for that campaign we need some video editors. Is what I'm thinking off the top of my head. We might need some support members, because one aspect of so one thing with Wavebox is so they have been working very, very hard on features, so giving people the updates as soon as they come for Chromium, and especially the features. I mean, it's huge. The users are really loyal because they request all these features, and they get these features from us. But one thing we have not been successful at is with the marketing. So that's the focus. So I think how SkilledUp Life is gonna come into the picture is to help us with the marketing, right? So we need some volunteers we need some more video editors. I'm thinking perhaps some technical writers. So I think Susan's on it. So Susan's basically working on support. So she might need some writers for the blog, but we need some video editors, and we need perhaps some graphic designers. But I think they are going to learn a lot from with this experience. A lot of these students, these fresh graduates, the interns, they're going to learn so much through this marketing campaign. So I think all these volunteers are going to gain so much. Basically, because this is the first time we're doing something as big as this one. There haven't been a lot of marketing campaigns. I mean, there have been some promotions, but not as there haven't been a massive campaign. So I think it's going to be exciting, and it's going to be good news for the interns as well, because they're going to be exposed to a whole new thing. I mean, they haven't been experiencing before, and it's not something that you can learn in school, like theoretical knowledge, right? So it's very practical.
Okay, so Godwin, as you know, Godwin runs our marketing. Godwin, it's good to hear from Mithun and Wavebox that they're thinking of building a marketing team. So would you mind sharing how you have structured the marketing team at SkilledUp Life? Obviously, Mithun knows, but the audience might not, and it might help if some of the audience members are interested in marketing roles, volunteer roles, then it could be useful. So Godwin, please share how you structured our marketing team, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Manoj. Hi, Mithun. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Hi, Godwin.
Yeah. I feel that largely the structure at Wavebox will certainly tie into what they are tracking, what they're looking to do. It's going to be awareness, largely, and of course other things tied in, but it will certainly depend on. Now, for SkilledUp Life, we've got a 4 sub-team structure outlay for our team, for our marketing team. We've got the content creators, those who create the content. We understand that in reality, these volunteers haven't got sufficient time on hand. reality is that if it were a full-time engagement in some organization, of course, whoever is responsible for social media management would also be expected to create these materials and also disseminate. But we understand that that's not necessarily the case with us. We were only asking for about 1 to 3 hours of volunteer time per day. So in a lot of ways, that's not too sufficient to be able to achieve all of these things. Now, this is the reason why that structure was built. That there are those creating materials, talk about videos, talk about graphics, talk about content, copies. Then we also envision that those who create will then pass it on to those who will distribute. And this is where the social media handlers come in: LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So essentially, we've got a pipeline. Some are creating and passing on to those who are distributing there, going on. So it's a rotary wheel going on and on and on. But we've also got other sub-teams. We've got the events sub-team that is doing wonderful. We're holding events, of course, every day of the week now. We're also planning special events every now and then. So that is also well-oiled. And then we've finally got the case studies team. Now, peculiarity in our own case is that we really would like to understand the stories of our volunteers. We would like to tell their stories, would like to know their journeys. So that team may not necessarily technical at Webbox, but it is very useful here. So like I said earlier on, it will depend on the goal and the aspirations at Webbox. But of course, you could have those sub-team structures. You've been a member of the team, so I'm sure you know so much how to do all of those structurings. But like Manoj said earlier on, for the benefit of those listening in, we've got this sub-team structure simply to aid and ease up the flow of materials, flow of activities, and all of the responsibilities.
Yeah, and let me just say that I really like the way that Godwin have his team set up at SkilledUp Life. I was seeing how effective it was, because he has all these teams from Instagram and Facebook and all these other social media pages, and he has a graphic design team, and I really like how they're all working together and how they are sort of like cogs in a wheel, how they are like all working together to get the work done. It's very effective, I think, how Godwin has his team structured. So I think that's definitely something we can learn from how Godwin does it as well.
Yeah, one of the things I'm planning to do is I'm trying to planning to create a new web page talking about how we have structured our marketing team, and I think what we'll also do is that once that page is up, we'll also try to understand how our customers are building their marketing teams and structuring them, so we can keep that page as a live web page, updating and learning and sharing. And it's very important for us to pass the knowledge we have, because most customers haven't really worked with volunteers, and therefore there are nuances they need to understand. So this is a new thing, so we will continue to build new web pages to talk about building teams in different areas. So I know that support is a major area that you want to focus on. Have you how are you trying to do provide support? Is it I think you have a chat function in there, right, on Webbox? Is that how you provide support?
No, actually, what we have is sort of like a chat tool.
Right.
That is inside of the browser. I think at SkilledUp Life, Talk to is very convenient. It allows people to get in touch with the SkilledUp Life team, right away. So I think one of the disadvantages that we have is we don't have a direct function that gets them in touch with us. So, but Susan has been really good with the emails. So we get a lot of support tickets, and she's really working hard to answer them very, very fast. But going forward, I think we can definitely look at how the support team works at SkilledUp Life. And of course, I know how
Yeah.
Chidinma works, so she does a really good job. So maybe we can incorporate some of those functionalities that you have in support team and how Chidinma does things.
Yes, so I think for our own support, we need to increase its effectiveness in 2024, because I think to large extent the support team has focused on helping the volunteers, but we need to now do the same for customers like yourself. So I think, and as you know, that we have significant churn. And just before you left, that we sort of split the accounts into starter plan and advanced plan. So we want to do a lot more for advanced plan customers. And I think one of the things that Chidinma is working on, Chidinma, you can share, why don't you share, how you are structuring your team now going forward? Chidinma? Chidinma, you are muted at the moment. Okay. When she comes back, she can share that. One of the things we are looking at is customer retention. We have, especially with the starter plan, we have customers who join us, recruit some volunteers, and unsubscribed. For us as a business, that's not good, because we want them to stay as a customer on a continuous basis. Stopping and restarting is not easy. I don't know. I presume you don't have that problem within Wavebox. Is churn an issue, or is that not? Because I found it. You might not necessarily want to answer this because.
Yeah. Actually, it is because sometimes we have companies, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes people leave, people change jobs. So when that happens, those seats, it drops.
Yeah.
The number of seats they have with us. So that is the actual issue. The other thing is the complexity of using Wavebox. So we're trying to address those problems.
Yeah.
So that's actually one of the announcements we're trying to make. But we are looking
Yeah.
at something new that we want to introduce to Wavebox to answer all those problems.
So how do you manage? Is it a company that has an account, right? And let's say that they buy 100 seats, and employees change all the time, and is that then managed by the company, or does then the support team need to get involved and delete accounts and create accounts? How does it happen?
Okay, so it's just everything is online, right? So they don't have to get in touch with the support team. Although we give them a form to give us some feedback on why exactly did they decide to leave. What was the reason? And usually the most common reason is that they've changed jobs, or they have to let go of an employee or something like that.
Okay. But Wavebox, you are direct to customer, isn't it? You don't have partnerships, or do you have partnerships?
We actually don't have any partnerships.
Okay. Yeah. So
we do have a reseller program though, and
I'm
I'm thinking of changing that into something more, because some of our reseller users have not been very successful with that. So we are trying to restructure reselling as well, but we don't have partners the way SkilledUp Life has it, of course.
Yeah. So I think I'm a reseller as well. Some tech seller it is. Yeah. And so it's exciting. Obviously, we got Janet in the audience. Janet is doing an amazing job in terms of building the partnership side. I think we are still very young in our partnership team, but I think she's been very busy bringing a lot more people to the team. Janet, if you like to come and chat, please raise your hand. I can let you in. I don't know how busy you are right now. Um, yes, so I mean, I think it's going to be quite exciting because um, we, obviously, Wavebox is in fact, our second um, advanced plan customer. It was called Tier 2, Tier 4 before. We had a similar customer, but I think they were very early stage, join us last year around December, and they just, after a couple of weeks, they just decided to leave us. So we need to learn how to manage, and that's why the advanced plan, which is what you are on, is fully supported. And still, our customers are responsible for the recruitment, but will assist as much as possible. So we're not taking over the recruitment function. I think what we are trying to do is to try to help our customers find a HR volunteer, and in this case, we have given one of ours, and we now have our another new customer. Well, it's returning customer, but they're at a very early stage. So when a company is at very early stage, they don't have any processes in place or tools or systems, and it's always something very hard. Uh, so going forward, we had to look at, I think, again, I'm going to create new web pages on how to build those systems, processes, etc., so that we can guide advanced plan customers to replicate them if they don't have any. So I think you don't necessarily use. I mean, do you plan to have a daily reporting culture, Mithun, or is that not something yet discussed within the team?
That's a that's a good question. So we don't actually have a daily reporting culture, but we do have. So on the browser, it allows us to add the tasks that we do, and we can add notes. So I've added all the tasks that I'm doing and on the notes. So it kind of reminded me of the daily tasks. So daily reporting culture that Manoj brought to SkilledUp.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the brilliant ideas Manoj has ever had, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to SkilledUp Life, and I really like it. So we don't exactly have that, but like I said, we do
Yeah.
have we have the option to have notes and tasks and that kind of stuff. So I've sort of made it similar, but I think it's definitely that influence is there from Manoj's daily reporting culture.
So I think the issue is that if you take on 10, let's say 10 volunteers, right now you only have FWA, you are full time, you have FWA, who's the HR volunteer, but if you have 10, I think, at that point, or even well before that, I mean, our recommendation is that all our customers set up something similar. It doesn't have to be using Slack, but I think the daily reporting culture is very important in multiple ways. One is that it provides transparency. Now, I have been very guilty lately. I haven't actually done any reports, so I need to go back, and I think I need to tell Juliet, my executive assistant, to check on whether I submitted daily updates. If not, get me to do it. But it's the we want to understand where we have failed in the past. So we have a research team, as you know, and oh God, I've forgotten the name. And Marian is doing some excellent research, and we need to understand a couple of things. One is that why do people just give up, right? And when they give up is bad on both sides. One, especially on the company side, because company has gone into trouble of finding them, going through the recruitment process, and then the next day they just disappear, or they disappeared after a while. So we need to find an answer of how to reduce the attrition rate. So I think that's a big problem we have. And obviously, from customers, they have always asked us to vet the volunteers, which we can't do. But I think what we can do is we can start to highlight people we believe are committed. Now again, I need to do some bit more research just to understand the whole recruitment landscape, and just if you type average staff turnover, on internet, you get huge numbers like 30-40% of people leaving just after starting a job. So if you then think about saying, okay, those are paid jobs, and here we are talking about volunteer opportunities, and then the rate would, without a doubt, has to be higher, but that doesn't give us an excuse not to do something about it. So I think we need to spend more time understanding that, and I think one answer to that is significant preparation on the customer side, where everything is ready. When somebody sign up on the volunteer agreement and say, you are starting on Monday, everything is ready to welcome that individual. We are now in our 4th year. I know our HR team has done a tremendous job, but we are still nowhere near perfect, especially when it comes to my team. I don't get to talk to them for a long time, and I've seen that my team is performing poorly compared to some of the other teams. So there are lots of other things that we need to improve going forward. But I suppose I think it's working out saying, what would the next 5 people or 10 people in volunteers in Wavebox looks like, and then take appropriate measures to make sure that you don't end up losing them immediately after they join. Obviously, you know how everything works, Mithun, but
yeah. So I think SkilledUp Life is it's on a very positive trajectory, and I talk about the same kind of stuff with Susan as well, on how SkilledUp Life has all the systems in place, they have all the procedures in place, and on Wavebox we have to do the same. We have to sort of follow the same example as SkilledUp Life. And I think when it comes to HR and recruitment, I think Efwa, even when I was at SkilledUp Life, I see how she was doing all the work. She was very consistent. She was very very hardworking. So I'm sure she'll be great at Wavebox. And I actually have a meeting right now with Susan, and she just said hi. She just said hi, and then I'm trying to get her to join one of these events.
Yes.
She's not very.
Sorry, we lost you, Mithun. Okay.
Answering emails, but I'm trying to get her to join one of these events. But you're right, Manoj. I think we definitely have to follow your example. I think you have a lot of good systems in place. We have to bring those to Wavebox, and really looking forward to getting the help of FY and getting more team members to join or volunteers to join the team and really help us with everything that we have planned.
Yeah.
So I just have to go.
Yeah, sure. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks so much, Manoj. It's so great to catch up with everyone, Manoj, Godwin, Chidinma, and everyone else in the audience. I see some of my friends and teammates down there as well. So thank you so much, guys.
All right, take care. So if anyone in the audience would like to join us for a chat, please raise your hand. I'll let you in, and then we can discuss whatever is on your mind. Godwin, obviously you heard Mithun, and they are very important customer, because one of the things I think we haven't really achieved is to understand the customer at the point of them joining us, then see how they grow with our help. So I think we have a great opportunity with Wavebox to do that, because before Mithun joined, there was only 3 people, and I know 2 of them very well. So I think it would be really good. Plus they have an amazing product. It is over complex. That's one of the issues I think they need to solve. But also, they are further down in terms of revenues, customers. I believe one of the big mega companies actually, who actually has a browser, use part of their teams actually use Wavebox rather than their own browser. So they have and they also have quite a number of companies that have copied them as well. So there are so it's really nice, and we really want to make sure that they succeed as a result of our own existence. So I don't know, what are your sort of any observations, Godwin, in terms of Wavebox, what they're trying to do, and how do you think we can help them? Godwin, you are muted.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
Well, I think I haven't really taken out time to, do an in-depth appraisal of what they are doing and maybe how we could help them beyond, providing them with talent. But I really, really feel that whatever the case may be, one very suitable way we could be helping them at this time beyond talent, which is a base factor, we will be providing them immense support on, is feedback, consistent feedback. Of course, you're utilizing their product already. You talked also about building a custom version for SkilledUp Life and so on. All of these will, have us utilize whatever they are doing hands-on and be able to give them feedback. So beyond providing them with that team that helps power them to success, as we're doing currently, I think another very vital way we could be supporting Wavebox in the shorter, medium, and even in the long run is providing consistent feedback as to what we feel and how we feel their product really helps or simplifies what we do. You've been using it, like I said, and I'm sure you've got a lot of feedback to give. So I think these are the very important ways we could be supporting as we go on.
Yeah, I think my interest is, I'm a user of the product, but what I'm interested in is to understand how they would structure the team and take on volunteers from us, and then how they would manage that process. Because in the past, we have helped over 100 tech companies now. Some have just joined us for a month, some have stayed us for years. But we, unlike Wavebox, we never really had any insight into those companies, and most of those companies were very early stage compared to Wavebox. So I think we need to keep a close eye on to, they will learn from us. We need to understand how they are learning and how they are adapting, and then we need to capture that knowledge so that we can improve our own service. Yesterday, Chidinma, that Tawanda 7th Century Music rejoined, and I remember talking to Tawanda in early days, and one of the things he said is that, and that was during a customer workshop. I think one of our customers said something, and then Tawanda stepped in and said, you need to have a social profile. People need to know who you are, what your company is. If you don't have a social profile, people aren't likely to join you, because they do actually a lot of research before they apply for volunteer roles. So it is quite important. But so when Tawanda rejoined, I think you have seen my emails. I don't know whether you saw his reply, and he actually had quite a sizable team, a product development team, and they seem to have stayed a lot longer than one volunteer term. So we need to also understand how that process work, because at the moment everything that we do is geared toward somebody joining, volunteering for a company, committing typically between 2 to 3 hours per day for 60 volunteer days under a 3 months volunteer agreement. If our customers are keeping those agreements longer, and we have done that as well, we need to also understand that a little bit more about that process. But it seems that Tawanda was very successful in building a team, and obviously people have left as they were completing the terms and extending the terms. And so he's come back to recruit more people. And I'm sure that based on the way he operates, he will use our service for a couple of months. Once he builds a team, he will leave us. So we got to look at from our internal side, because it's not really good that when that happened, because we can't build a consistent picture of how they are growing and therefore adjust our support to help them. So we need to look at ways to learn from various customers who join us. They have their behaviors. Recently, one customer joined us for a month and called some of our volunteers using a word that I don't like to hear. And when you start digging in to understand what went wrong, I think there were faults from both parties, the volunteer side as well as the customer side. And they have not understood the process. They have not even signed a volunteer agreement. So that breaches our rules. So we need to make sure our rules capture all these nuances. And also we have to continue to educate our customers. I think it's very hard to educate them if they just join us for a month, because a month is definitely not enough to get the best out of SkilledUp Life. It's a more long-term, it has to be a long-term arrangement. So just to give you an example, Wavebox until I think towards the middle of last month, until F4, I think F4 has actually started to help them before she left us. But they haven't actually started with anyone yet until that happened. So whereas so they have been a customer for a couple of months, they were learning, they were taking their time, they were not in a hurry to sort of try to recruit a team in the first month. So I think there's a significant learning here for us, and I think it's also interesting to work with in their case it's just 3 people before they join us, but it's because that in their case that they're a highly tightly knit team. They have known each other for a long time. They know how to operate, how to automate many things, whereas some of other customers, their first time they're building tech companies, they have no experience of building a company or building teams. So we have to then look at saying, okay, how do we help them? So there's a lot of things that we need to do, and I think going into 2024, we need to understand which areas that we ourselves need to learn to improve our service. Now, I've spoken a lot. Is anyone in the audience want to raise your hand and join? Because today we haven't had anyone else joining us except Mithun. Please do so. Then we can talk about, you could talk about whether you are, if you're not building a company, if you want to gain experience, we can talk about that. We got about 15 minutes left. Please raise your hand so I can let you in. Chidinma, any thoughts from your end? You are muted. Godwin, do you want to speak? You're both muted. I don't know whether there's a problem with LinkedIn. Godwin, Chidinma. Okay. Please, Chidinma, are you able to speak? Okay, I see you dropping out and coming back, but if you can, please join. In the meantime, is anyone in the audience like to join us and speak? I know some of you are current team members, some of you are past team members, and some are new. Feel free to raise your hand. I've got another 40 minutes left. Happy to have a conversation. Okay. Okay, so maybe I'll speak by myself then, and so I think going into 2024 is we've been doing this now for just over 3 years, and every year we have learned, and we are continuing to learn, and I think that's the most important thing. Now, a couple of big things that we want to do. Chidinma, Godwin, if you can speak, please unmute and join. Godwin, please go ahead.
Hi, Manoj.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, yes.
LinkedIn has been buggy the past few minutes. Tried severally to speak. Okay, so yes, it will simply be an appeal to anyone in the audience. I see Bertie, I see Amma, Muhammad. Please feel free, Fate. How's the journey been so far? If you wouldn't mind, come share your thoughts with us. Tell us about anything you've been doing, maybe in line with what we've been talking about. Coming to get experience through SkilledUp Life. I also see Leonard, but of course, like Manoj said, quite a number of our teammates in the audience as well. You could also come share your thoughts with us, right? So to do so, you will need to click on the raised hand icon. It's at the bottom right corner of your screen. Then we will get a notification.
Okay. So, what are your plans for 2024, Godwin, in terms of now you are managing two parts of SkilledUp Life? You are the head of marketing and you have taken over from what Mithun was doing in terms of volunteer acquisition. What are you going to do new compared to the previous years next year?
Well, now the reality for us is we're still a small company, but albeit looking to grow. Now we've had significant online or virtual footprint. We've been doing a lot, running events every time, and there's so much about us. But what we want to do now, a combination of marketing and volunteer acquisition, is to now take whatever we do off, not necessarily off, but in addition to what we do virtually, now we begin to have physical footprints here and there. In the past few months, we haven't been able to concisely form out that structure for our ambassadorial plans. We've always had it, hadn't really formed. But in the past few weeks, we're beginning to see a trajectory that shows, yes, we have a solid plan. We've got deliverables and it's being worked on. We know that that's the state part time. So I do envisage that in the year 2024, we will have significant physical footprint here and there. And it will come in the form of student ambassadors. Now, what that means is that we will have individuals across campuses all over the globe, ideally, but we're starting with Nigeria and Ghana. The thinking is that while we do that, we now have representatives on this campus telling their peers, talking about SkilledUp Life, providing opportunities, as the case may be. We've got opportunities on our board. They will, in turn, make this known to their colleagues on their social media groups, in class, and so on. So we're simply now trying to take what we do strictly online and making it available to people out there. That will be a significant part of what we do in 2024. Sure.
Okay. Chidinma, thank you very much. Chidinma, are you able to join? Because you are still muted. Okay. Okay, there you go. We got somebody joining us. Thank you so much. Birdie, please introduce yourself and tell us what's in your mind, please. Birdie, you need to unmute. The mute button is at the bottom right now. Okay. Please introduce yourself.
Bonjour à tous.
Okay.
Moi,
I can't speak French, I'm afraid.
Oui, je parle français, alors je voudrais savoir si vous pouvez m'aider à traduire les messages que vous venez de dire pour que je puisse le comprendre aussi.
Sadly, today we can't take any questions in French. We do run an event in French run by Natalie. I don't know, Godwin, Chidinma, do you speak French? I don't.
Well, I don't, but I think it will be great, Birdie, to connect after now, and then of course link you up with our teammate. She anchors our French targeted event. I'm sure it will be a wonderful one to converse with her. Does that work, Birdie?
I don't know.
No.
She might not be speaking English. Okay, Birdie, we are sorry we can't help you today, but Godwin or Chidinma will try to hook you up with Natalie, and then you can ask any questions in French with. So I'm gonna move you to listening as we can't help you. I'm sorry. Okay, is anyone else who want to join us? We can only support English and maybe the native languages in Africa. I don't know. Right? Anything else? I can see Ola just joined. Ola is in my Gaslan. Very well. Please introduce yourself. Tell us what's on your mind.
So, good evening, Manoj. Good evening, Godwin, Chidinma, and I also see they are here in the audience. Just coming and drop by to say hi. How has things been going after my graduation, Manoj?
I think I've been talking the whole day about things. Nice to hear from you. So are you still studying, or have you finished? What's happening with you?
I've just finished my last examination today.
Right. So what's your immediate plan?
I'm going to do a project-based internship this winter before we start off the spring semester.
Right. Okay. Is that like a 2 months, 3 months internship, or? It's
just for 1 month, Manoj.
Okay. I mean, you're always welcome if you have time. You want to come and learn something new. You're always welcome to join. We know you're a hardworking individual, so we always like those who put effort in and are committed. So which area are you focusing on? Is it project management, or what's your specialty?
So I'm trying to focus on HR first, but I'm trying to expand my skills on marketing, which is why I took a project-based copywriting internship.
Okay. So Godwin, do you have any advice, anything for Gaslan? I think Godwin might be struggling seem to be struggling with LinkedIn. Is there anything? I mean, anything we can do to help, or are you okay with the internship and?
Yeah, I'm doing okay with my internship so far, Manoj.
Okay.
It's just that I love dropping by to your events.
All right. Okay. All right. Brilliant. Thank you so much. So we got 5 minutes left. Is anyone else want to come and have a quick chat? Hi, Emma or Ama. Please introduce yourself. You need to unmute. The mute button is on the bottom right. Please go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Godwin, did you understand that there was a lot of noise and I couldn't quite comprehend? Chidinma, please go ahead. Godwin, did you understand what Emma was saying? Okay, I think LinkedIn is playing up.
Yes, I can hear you now. It's been a tough one. I'm trying to unmute yet again. Yes, I think Amma was here some times back. She complained about an interview that was scheduled but never got to happen. So she's simply giving us feedback that is now fixed.
Okay, so it would be interesting to find out. Emma, are you able to tell us which company you are joining?
Okay, it's the salad with a slice of fried soup. That's the company.
Is it? I don't. Chidinma, can you hear?
Salad with a slice of fries. That's the name of the company.
Okay, I don't know who they are. Maybe you could leave a comment and then I can follow up, or me or Chidinma, just to make sure that it goes smoothly. So, the comments page, events comment page, if you can just leave a message, mention the company name, because I don't quite recognize the company. Oh, salad with fries. Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. Right. Thank you so much. So I think we've run out of time. So thanks so much for joining us and listening to what we were discussing. And it was good to get have a conversation with Mithun in his new role as part of Wavebox. And thanks for Ghazlan and Amma and others joining in. So take care and have a great weekend, and catch up next Friday. Take care. Bye.